Sam Monson with us from Pro Football Focus, lead NFL analyst, as we welcome you back to Mohawk Honda, where we are broadcasting live on this Tuesday morning. And Sam is all over the NFL draft, as we all are, but he's got a lot more inside information than we do. And he's calling Baker Mayfield the best and safest quarterback in this draft. And Sam joins us here on Big Board Sports 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio. Sam, Roger Weiland, and Chris Honorado in Albany, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going, guys?
We're good. Sam. We're good, Sam. Thanks for a few minutes. So now we're hearing some rumors this morning that maybe the Cleveland Browns really like Baker Mayfield too. Your thoughts on Baker, why you think he's the best and safest, and then do you think that the Cleveland Browns at 1 could take Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, well, we start off this process grading every single play that every single one of these players has in their college careers now. And Baker Mayfield is just head and shoulders the best quarterback in college from a grading perspective. He has the number 1 and number 2 single-season grades we've ever given a college quarterback. So better than anything we saw from Jared Goff, from Carson Wentz, from Marcus Mariota, better than any of those guys. And his third season is in the top 10 as well. His grading has just been phenomenal. And when you look deeper into the numbers, when you start diving into the various subsets, the scenarios, the way that grade is comprised, he's got the number 1 big-time throw percentage, the number 1 adjusted completion percentage, how accurate he was, the number 1 grade from a clean pocket, which our metrics are suggesting is the most translatable thing to the NFL, being able to play from a clean pocket where there isn't any of the trash to disrupt you and all that kind of stuff. But he's also got the number 1 grade under pressure as well. So there's basically no way that you can slice the numbers, no way that you can divide up the tape where Mayfield isn't better than everybody else in this quarterback crop. As for whether the Browns will take him number 1, I think there's a good chance they would. I mean, if you're the Browns for the past few months, all they've had to do is analyze every one of these quarterbacks and figure out which guy is the best. You could get blinded by the arm strength of Josh Allen and think of the potential upside if you fix all of the things that's wrong with him as a prospect right now. Or you could look at Darnold and Rosen and kind of come to the same conclusions that if we tweak a little thing here or there. But the bottom line is the best you can get out of those guys is they might be a little bit better than Baker Mayfield is right now with nothing in need of fixing.
Well, that would certainly change the plan because I know the Giants love Sam Darnold. If they're going to take a quarterback, it'd be Sam Darnold. If he doesn't go to Cleveland 1 and Baker Mayfield does, then it certainly would alter, Sam, what the Giants might do, even though we are hearing the Giants seem to be really locked in to not taking a quarterback and going with Saquon Barkley, the Penn State running back.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that would be could be the best thing that would happen to the Giants is if they were almost forced into taking a quarterback by their guy being there at number 2. I think it would be a big mistake to pass up on a quarterback. They're not going to get the opportunity to draft Eli Manning's successor this high very often. The last time they had a pick this high, I think, was 1981. And Saquon Barkley is not the surefire prospect that a lot of people are making him out to be. He has some flaws to his game, and running backs have never been less valuable in today's NFL. Admittedly, Saquon Barkley is strong in the right area to be valuable in terms of the passing game, but there are enough concerns about his tape that I don't see how you can justify taking him at 2 over a potential franchise quarterback moving forward.
Sam Monson with us, Pro Football Focus lead NFL analyst. Sam, I'm going to respond to some of what you just said there on Barkley because I think a lot of Giants fans or people who look at Barkley's highlight reel see what Todd Gurley was able to do last year in the Rams offense. They see what Alvin Kamara was for the Saints last year. And I know both those guys are effective in the passing game. You said the way Barkley may be. Why, I'm not going to say that you're down on Barkley, but why are you downgrading him beyond the 2 spot?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is that those guys, all running backs now are very dependent on the blocking and the offense around them. So I think Gurley's a great example because the year before, with a much worse offensive line in front of him, he looked terrible. He looked like a guy that was heading towards struggling to be out of this league, he was drawing comparisons with Trent Richardson in terms of what he was doing with his vision when he hit the line of scrimmage. Then suddenly the Rams get a better offense. They get an improved offensive line, a better scheme around him, and he looks like an MVP candidate. You can't rely on Saquon Barkley alone pulling this offense up to being a great unit without improving the blocking around him. The other concern with him is just the way he runs the ball between the tackles. This is a guy who, despite being 235 pounds, wants to run to daylight. He doesn't want to take the 3 hard yards in the middle when he can see a flash of light on the outside and think he can get 15, 20 yards. And sometimes there's some big plays in there, but it also causes him problems a lot of the time. On runs where he was contacted at or behind the line of scrimmage, he averaged less than half a yard per carry, which was 47th of 48 running backs in this draft class. The leader was Rashad Penny, who had 3.3 yards per carry on those plays. So it's a big concern that he doesn't get the hard yards when he needs to.
Who do you think the Giants will take 2? Who do you have the Jets taking 3? And what's your thoughts on the Buffalo Bills at 12? Those are our regional teams of interest.
I think there's a good chance the Giants will take Saquon Barkley. I think they should take a quarterback. I have pretty good confidence in the top 3 quarterbacks in this draft. And for us, the top 3 quarterbacks are Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and Josh Rosen. Obviously, 2 of those guys are going to be available at least at number 2. I think the Giants have to take advantage of that and draft Eli Manning's replacement. The Jets obviously are going to be in the quarterback market as well. It's all going to hinge on what the Browns do. If they let Baker Mayfield get beyond them, I think Baker would be a perfect quarterback for the Jets. He could potentially transform that franchise. And then the Bills are the big wild card team in this first round because they have the ammunition to move around and potentially jump up and target one of these quarterbacks. Josh Rosen is the guy that a lot of people have talked about potentially slipping a little bit in these first 10 picks. And if that starts to happen, the Bills may get aggressive and go looking for Josh Rosen as their quarterback.
It'll be interesting. There's no doubt about that. But the rumblings this morning about Mayfield, and then with what you have him graded out as the best and maybe safest QB in the draft, perhaps it is Cleveland taking Baker Mayfield. It would shock everybody. And then the Giants will have some really hard decisions to make at number 2. Sam, appreciate a few minutes here on Big Board Sports in Albany.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.